Hey, this is Rick Casalage, injury specialist from exercisesforinjuries.com. In today's video, what I wanted to go through is the best patellofemoral exercises. Now, I'm going to get Kara to help me out with the exercises, and the first is just a comment that a lot of times the standard quad stretch is painful for people with patellofemoral pain syndrome. And I'll get Kara to demonstrate. So we're going to move to the wall, hand on the wall, you're nice and upright. You're going to bring the heel towards the seat. You're going to use your hand and grab the forefoot and bring that heel towards the seat, looking for a stretch in the quad. Now, a lot of times people with patellofemoral pain syndrome will find this painful and makes their condition worse. So with the next couple 4 exercises that I'm going to go through, they're effective exercise to help you when it comes to overcoming patellofemoral pain syndrome, but also more importantly, they put very little stress on that knee, because with patellofemoral pain syndrome, the more you squat, the more load or pressure you put on that foot, it puts a lot of strain on that kneecap, and then when you bring the heel towards the seat, it puts a lot of strain on the kneecap. Now, let me go through the first exercise that's effective for patellofemoral pain syndrome, but doesn't put much stress on that knee. And it is the knee at 90 and the hip back. So we're moving to that wall again. We got the hand up against the wall to remove balance so we can focus in on doing the exercise correctly. We're nice and upright, head, shoulders, hips, legs in a straight line. And then what Kara's going to do is we'll go to right here. So she's bending that leg, hip, knee, ankle to 90, and then she's going to bring that knee back. And she might feel light stretch in the hip, but then we're also looking for a light stretch in that front of the thigh. Now, it's going to feel different than the standard quad stretch, but the benefit is we're putting a lot less stress on that knee and on that kneecap, but we're still getting a light stretch in that quad, and we're also getting that stretch in the front of the hip. Now, looking at the sets, reps, time, and intensity that I recommend for this one, sets would be 1, repetitions would be 2, so it would alternate back and forth. Time would be 20 seconds, so you're holding that end position for 20 seconds. Intensity is light, and the purpose of this, as I mentioned a couple times, is to stretch out the quads, but also to stretch out the hip flexor. Okay, now moving on to the second one, when it comes to an exercise, like best exercise for patellofemoral pain syndrome, it's a standing hip flexor stretch. So, we moved away from the wall to kind of demonstrate this. You're going to take like half a step forward, half a step back, and instead of leaving that heel down, we're going to lift that heel up so you're on the ball of the foot. This knee is soft. You're going to tighten up the abdominal area, and then you're going to bring the hips forward. Bring the hips forward, and we're looking at getting a light stretch in the front of that hip of the back leg. Okay, and then I'll demonstrate it against the wall. So we'll move closer to the wall. You can put one hand on the wall. So once again, the wall is nice to remove balance and allow you to kind of focus on doing the exercise correctly. If you have good balance and have no issues, or there's no wall around you, you don't have to use it. But once again, hand on the wall, remove balance. Half a step forward, half a step back, coming onto the ball of the foot. Yeah, knee bent. You're going to tighten that abdominal area. I'm going to get you to stay upright and upright. Good. And you're going to bring that hip forward, and we're looking for a light stretch in the front of the hip. So now I'll get you to switch legs so people can see this left hip. Okay, yeah, half a step, half a step. This is soft. You're going to tighten up that abdominal area. You're going to bring the hips forward, and we're looking for a light stretch in the front of that hip area. Perfect. Okay, now moving on to the next one. The next one, we move from standing, move down to the floor, And with this one, oh, I didn't go through the sets, reps, and stuff. Okay, so sorry, Kara. So with the sets, reps, time, and intensity with the other one, the sets would be 1, repetitions would be 2, time would be 20 seconds, and the intensity is light, and the purpose is to target that hip flexor. Okay, moving on to the third exercise. This is on-side hip back. So you're lying on your side. Good. Arms overhead, so you can rest your head on your arm. You're lying on your side, so shoulders are stacked, hips are stacked. That top leg you're going to bend so that hip, knee, and ankle are at 90. And now you're going to bring that heel, like you're bringing that heel towards that wall. Good. And we're looking at a stretch. We're trying to keep that hip stacked. It's the front of the hip and the front of the thigh. And you can offload it a little bit and then bringing that heel again back, looking for a light stretch in the quad and in the hip. Perfect. Now looking at the sets, reps, time, and intensity for this one, sets would be 1, repetitions would be 2, time once again would be 20 seconds, intensity is light, and the purpose for this one is to stretch out that quad and also get a little bit of a stretch in that hip flexor area. Okay, the next one that I recommend that you do when it comes to the best patellofemoral exercises is sticking the quads. So how this one works, it's best done sitting. So you're going to have a seat. Kara has the massage stick. So you're going to straighten out one leg, and then you're going to massage through that quad. Good. Good, just above the kneecap to just below the hip. You're going to move through the main belly of it, but then you want to move to the side and more towards the outside, and then the main belly part, and then you can move a little bit into the inside of that quad. Perfect. Now looking at the sets, reps, time, and intensity for this one, sets would be 1. Repetitions, I would start off with 5, but you can progress to 10. A repetition is moving down the quad and back up. The intensity would be light, and that's based upon how much force you put in, but I would go light to moderate, and the purpose is to self-massage that quad in order to decrease that tension in that quad and decrease the pull that's happening on that kneecap and leading to that patellofemoral pain syndrome that you have. Now commenting on the stick, with the sticks, I usually don't find them at department stores. Easy enough to find it at a fitness equipment store, and online you can find it if you just type in massage stick. It's a good thing to have. There's lots that you can do when it relates to lower body self-massage work. Okay, now moving on to the next exercise. This is a chair hip flexor stretch. So I'm going to move the chair like here, and how it's going to work, I'll get you to face that way, and you're going, okay, so I'll get you to stand up again. So it's, okay, so you're having a seat, you're just putting like one cheek on the seat, the right leg is forward, and you're bringing that left leg back. There we go, good. So you need to make sure that the chair that you have can handle this. This one works fine. Okay, so you're nice and upright, and in order to intensify the stretch, this back leg you just bring back further. Good, and we're looking at a stretch in the front of the hip and also in the quad, and you hold that position. Perfect. Okay, let's just demonstrate one more time, so we'll get you to go from standing. Kara, so you're standing nice and upright, you got a nice stable chair that does not have wheels, and you're sitting down, you're putting one cheek on the chair. We got the right cheek on the chair, right leg forward, left leg back. You can see the front leg is like at 90, ankle, knee, hip, and then the back leg is at 90, but the more we can increase it from 90, the more of a stretch we'll get in the front of the hip and front of that quad area. And then you hold that position where you're feeling that light stretch. Okay, looking at the sets, reps, time, and intensity for this one, sets would be 1, repetitions would be 2, time would be 20 seconds, intensity would be light, and the purpose of this is to stretch out the quads and stretch out the hip flexors, but without kneeling on the ground, because with patellofemoral pain syndrome, it's painful when you kneel down and you push that kneecap into the knee joint. So it's a good exercise to do to help you overcome patellofemoral pain syndrome. So there you go, give those exercises a go if you have patellofemoral pain syndrome. Now, if you want some of my other best tips and tricks when it relates to overcoming knee pain and tightness, head down below into the description and click the first link. It'll be exercisesforinjuries.com/knees. Let me know where to send you that report and I'll send you that report right away. Now, if you got benefit from this video, make sure to like this video. If you have a question or comment for me, leave it down below in the comments section. And lastly, hit subscribe to get future pain relieving videos.